Today I want to go over the armament sets that I actually have for my own account with you. Take a look at every single armament that I actually have. Kind of explain why I actually have those in those places. And then what I was thinking about, because as I am actually about to get Subutai Max for my next upcoming KVK, I've actually prepared this very Delta formation set for my account. But then again, after looking at some of the other videos that other content creators actually have created, I've realized that I made a big mistake. So actually stay tuned for more information about what kind of mistake that I actually made and how it's actually going to cost more than $200 for me to revert it if I am going to do so, and then my final decision on that. Now, let's just jump right in. And my very first set that I actually wanted to take a look at with you is this Delta formation. The Delta formation, as you might all already know, is basically a combo damage formation that is most often used with Arthur and potentially with Subutai. Now let's take a look at the first one that I have here. This one is actually the special inscription. Thrasher is nice, but then and also the all damage of 1.7% is actually not too bad. But this used to be my Wedge formation's very first slot. I actually converted this over to Delta, and this is one of the first mistakes that I actually made when I was making the Delta set, because I actually did not know that Arch was going to work better for Subutai Attila Rally. So I thought Delta would still be better because of the fact that, Subutai does have a combo attack and the trigger. Sorry, I coughed a little bit. So for the trigger chance that actually the Delta formation has, even though I don't have like butterfly effect, which I'll go over in a bit, but the rare inscription still gives you that extra chance for you to trigger those combo attack, and I thought it will still be better for you to actually use for your Attila Subutai rally, but it turns out that the Arch is the better way to go. So unfortunately, I could have actually, my one regret that I have when I was making this set was I could have actually left this set on Wedge and could have used something that doesn't really have special inscriptions for, let's say, something like Arch, because Arch, the special inscription for Arch's very first slot is Destruction. Destruction is not really actually going to benefit as far as what I'm told. So I could have actually used something like this and swapped out the infantry defense to cavalry defense, and then it could have been a lot better than whatever I had. And I could have saved me 10 transformation stone. I forgot what it was called. A 10 transition stone that I could have saved for my armament. So a little bit of regret, but not a bad armament. Let's just move on to the second one. So second one I have here is actually where you should have the butterfly effect on. I currently don't have it. I have the rare armament, which is the Cure Causative, which will give you 1.5% boost to combo attack damage dealt, and also 8% more likely to trigger effects instead of 20% of butterfly effect. But I think 8% more is still pretty good. If you're thinking about something that does trigger at 10%, it still gives you boost that up to 18%, which is pretty nice, I think. And I actually swapped this one from also my Wedge formation. And when I show you my Wedge formation, you can kind of see where I really transfer a lot of my value from the Wedge formation from. And yeah, that's where it came from. It's a pretty good armament though. That cavalry defense of 3.1%, 3.5% health, which is a max roll for any basic stat except for all damage. I think all damage's cap is 2.5%. So in terms of the stats wise, it's pretty darn good. I think this is so 1%, 8. So this is 9% total stats, which is really good. Now Leonin Rampart? I don't know how to say this one, but this one actually has a special inscription of Steel Skin. This actually is pretty good armament as well. The defense could be better. I can actually transmute this when I actually have a chance. I'm still trying to actually transmute this one right here, the Hurried, and so that I can actually have all damage buff instead of the all damage buff of 2% instead of 1.7% that I actually have on this one right now. But then again, once I'm done with those, I'll probably work on re-rolling this cavalry defense to something that's over 3%. So hopefully that I can get like 10% stats like flat on this one. But still has 3.5% cavalry health, which is amazing. And then 1.6% defense is meh, but 3.3% attack is pretty darn good. And Steel Skin, the inscription that I have on him is pretty darn good too. It has 2% damage resistance, and whenever the troop launches a combo attack, it has 1.5% less damage. So it has total up to 9.5% damage reduction if you can actually trigger this to the maximum time. And which is one of the reasons why I actually got Delta without even giving Arch a second thought, because of the fact that, yeah, like this inscription alone in the long term will actually give you like 9.5, almost 10% damage resistance. And that is going to be able to mitigate either normal damage or skill damage or any other damage. This is 9.5% damage resistance. So I thought this was pretty good. And that's just one of the reasons why I like, okay, well, I didn't really take a closer look at Arch Formation's special inscriptions. This looks pretty good. I'm going to actually get it. So I actually inscribed into a vanilla one, which was 3.1, 3%, 1.6%, 3.5%. I actually got the triple roll. And then I bought the special inscribing thing from the shop, and I actually made this myself. So, but in terms of like its potential, it's pretty darn good. As long as I can actually get like 2% or more defense, I think I'll be in a pretty good shape with this one. I don't really need to touch this one as well. This one, Delta Formation inscription. It has double inscription. It doesn't have a special inscription like my wedge one does. So my wedge one actually has this one. This will give you 10% skill damage buff. But then again, for one, transferring that over to Delta would actually cost me another $100, which is kind of expensive on its own. But then again, I thought reading the inscriptions themselves, it was not bad at all. So 3.5% damage boost to combo attack, of course, is less than 8% combo attack damage, but 3.5% of defense here is actually pretty darn good for cavalry. In fact, I think this is almost as good as like 1.7 or 8% of all damage if you do the stat conversion. So this is really good. So those two combined arguably has about 5% to 5.2% all damage buff question mark or at least for the combo attack damage, because yeah, nowadays people can actually do the math behind and actually figure out well how much 2% of defense is actually equivalent to in terms of all damage, and I think 2% defense is equivalent to about 1% of all damage. So 3.5%, just doing quick math, this is almost as good as 5% combo attack damage buff. We're missing 3% combo attack damage buff there, but then again, that 1.7% ish will all be added. It will be almost similar to being adding that to normal damage too, which is also pretty nice. So that's why I'm running this. This is the only one that actually has both rare inscription among my armaments that both have rare inscription as well as a pretty darn good inscription of its own, which is a defense. So I'm using this one for now. You can see that I actually today just tried the last bits of transmutation stone for this one, and it rolled into cavalry march speed, and I had to stop it there because of the fact that, hey, like march speed is at least something. So all that added together in total, if you count all damage, let's see, if you count all damage, this is about 29%. 29.2, I think, to be exact, on top of 3.5%. So about 32% stats in total, along with a little bit of nice movement speed right here that I actually got from this. And unfortunately, I don't have butterfly effect, which could have been really nice, which is what I'm going to actually go for the next whatever months of me trying to pull for Delta Formation to kind of complete the set at the end of the day. But that's basically what I have for my cavalry Delta Formation. This is still work in progress at the end of the day because I need to figure out what to do with this one. And I'm still trying to see if I can get this one rolled into 2% attack so that in the next KVK when I finish up everything, and then if I was lucky enough to actually get the Autarch Testimony, I can actually inscribe special inscription on this one so that I can switch this one back to, let's say, something like Wedge. Or if I don't have Autarch Testimony, I still have, I think, the pieces kind of leading up to my final piece for the next KVK, so I think I should be still good there. So more work in progress, but still pretty good. I think it has all the decent enough kind of inscriptions on it for it to be usable as a rally lead. I might switch up to Arch while also bringing a lot of stuff from my Wedge during the KVK, question mark, because of the fact that I think I'm going to be the only one who's going to be building Delta Formation or Arch Formation in my kingdom for Subutai at this very moment. It is very costly, and as you can see, I only had pulled like two rare or more inscriptions from the Delta, although I've been trying to do this for like last month. So yeah, let's just see how it goes. I think this is pretty good enough, to be really honest with you, in terms of what we can use. And as far as what I know, Attila Subutai still is going to outperform any other garrison in the game at this very moment, even if you're just using combo Delta formation. So hopefully, I don't have to actually convert this and spend another $20, $200, try to revert this one back to, Arch and stuff, or, move over, basically destroy my entire wedge set for me to actually just have one really, really good Arch set, because that would actually, make my field performance do a lot worse, because my wedge formation would just be completely ruined at that point. But as you can see, I am currently prepared. I actually spent $200 to actually make this 25. So I can technically convert to Arch during the KVK, but let's just see how the KVK goes. If you're still slapping with this Delta formation, because let's just be honest, there's not still that many people who has this level of armaments for Delta already. I know that there's some streamers who have butterfly effect and everything, and those are crazy, but then again, those are like Imperium, triple star Imperium people. So that's my plan for now. So stay tuned for whatever is coming for this Delta formation change. But right now, it looks really good, to be really honest with you. So I might still just run this, just because of how strong cavalry defense actually works with the fact that cavalry has so much health generated from its gear that defense edition actually does amplify the damage as much as health. So that's my first set. Whew, I was talking a lot. Let's just go ahead and move on to my second set, which is the wedge set that we were talking about so far. This one's pretty good too. It has about, let's see, this is 8.5%. This still has more than 30% of stats overall. Let's look at the first one. This is just temporary one that I'm using because of the fact that I switched that wedge one over to the other formation. I might actually revert this one, revert that 1.7% all damage armament back to wedge once I'm done with the next KVK, because of the fact that, hey, Delta, I'm actually trying to work on that 2% all damage armament to be used for my best Delta set. So yeah, this is temporary. It has a lot of stats. It doesn't have really good good inscriptions. I might actually convert this one, because 35% rage generation whenever you do direct damage is not too bad. So I'm still considering, but then again, so far whatever I have, and Furious is also not bad too. It does give you like 8% skill damage whenever you use an active skill. So, but right now I'm using this because there's no better one that I have so far, and it has really good stats. It has what, 5%, 5.2. 8.7% of stats, which is not bad at all. But this one is one that I actually need to work on, just because of the fact that I actually had the other one that I just showed you from Delta, which had like crazy amount of stats. Let's just go back to it and show you. Where's my Arthur? Arthur. Let's just go to cavalry. Yeah, so I actually transferred this one over from the wedge, and this one is crazy. Yeah, this one is crazy. Let's see, how much stats do I have? 6, 7, 8, 9%. So this one has 9% of stats. So that's why this one I need a little bit of work on. But I think in terms of everything else that I have, I might actually switch over to this one right here. But Bluster's not too good. And Boiling Blood, 2% skill damage buff whenever the wielder's troop deal direct damage, 30% chance to reduce. It's not amazing, but then again, it's something, right? So I might switch over to some other ones that I have on just on the standby right now. Well, this one's pretty nice, but it doesn't have inscription. So let me see. Right now, still 2% skill damage is still pretty good, and the little detail of like, okay, well, 30% chance to reduce incoming damage by 5% is not too bad. So I'm using that. Not particularly happy with it, but it is what it is. I'm still using it because of the rare inscription that it has. All right, let's move on to balance. So this one's the one that I actually was using forever. But I do have a better Delta one because I actually just made that one with the shop inscription, special inscription inscriber. But this one gives you 3.5% damage resistance, which is not bad. One above 80% rage. Next troop, their troop deals 8% more skill damage for the next 3 seconds. So this basically gives you 8% more skill damage on top of 3.5% damage resistance, which is nice, but not as good as Steel Skin, I think, because that just, as long as you're fighting as a rally, you're basically going to have that 10% damage reduction all the time. Whereas like 8.8% more skill damage is not all damage reduction at the end of the day. But stat wise, it's not too bad. I think it's about 7 point something percent, maybe 8%. So let's see. Yeah, it's about 8% flat stats, so not too bad. This one right here is really good. This is probably one of the best armaments that I had. You can see that I actually tried to re-roll this health for a very long time, but I couldn't. And I ran out this transmutation crystal, so that is unfortunate. But this one, stats are meh, 8.6% total. But then again, this one right here, special inscription on the 4th slot, is amazing, and this will give you 10% skill damage dealt. And if I actually transfer this over to Delta, it will give me 8%, Arch 8%, the same deal. Really, really good armament just because of the fact that it has special inscription. And I'll probably work on re-rolling that 3rd slot to higher health because 2.2% is meh. But overall, not a bad armament. Even though I actually, stole Hunter away from my 1st slot and then stole the best rare inscription one from this one. So, but it's still pretty bad, pretty good at over 30% stats again overall, and also at the same time, pretty good inscriptions for my secondary armament set that I have right now. Moving on to my 3rd one, it's not too bad. It's like 7.5% just raw stats on this one. And this one basically has those like armaments that basically lets you take less damage every now and then, which is just used for field. And assertive gives you all damage, I think, while you're on the map. Yeah, so 2% all damage. I thought it was good, despite this one not having good enough of stats. So that's why I'm using this one. But yeah, all damage, 2%. Couldn't skip on that one. Focus Fire, this is actually really good. If I do convert this one right here to Arch or combo, I'm actually going to just use this one. 4% boost to skill damage is nice. 1.4% all damage is also nice. 3.2% cav defense is okay. And 2% cavalry attack could be better, but attack is like the least favorable stats anyway. So this set right here is not too bad at all too. But actually, where I have like some crazy armors in are actually not on my cavalry one, surprisingly. But actually on my infantry and archer sets. So let's just go ahead and take a look at those. Where is my Liuche? And as you can see, I didn't really invest too much into special inscriptions for my secondary and 3rd, tertiary troop type. As you might already know, I am a cavalry main from the beginning to the end. So a lot of those actually don't have really good special armaments, but a special inscription. But those are actually armaments that actually came out when I was trying to build all my cavalry stuff. So overall, you can see that I have about this is crazy, 34.6%. Yeah, 34.6% stats, which is pretty darn good. I think the maximum that you can get is like 40.5%, 41.5%. So it's really good. Whatever, 41%, I think. Yeah, 41% is probably the maximum that you can get, because you can get 10.5% of stats. So actually 42%. Yeah, 42% is the maximum that you can get. So the fact that I'm at 34 point something percent, 34.6% overall is really, really good. But let's take a look at my first one. And I know I inscribed destruction before I knew that destruction was bad. But aside from that, look at this infantry defense, 3.5% max roll. Infantry health, 3.5% max roll. all I need is to be able to actually reroll this attack. And as you can see, I've tried, but I just need more of those transmutation crystals. And I just need to be done with my cavalry set. So once I'm done with my cavalry set, I'll work on this to just basically have the perfect 3.5, 3.5, 3 point something roll as much as I can. But this is gold. 7% from bottom 2 alone, and then I think so 9.4% all stats overall is really crazy on a single armament. Now my second one here is a Fearsome, which will give you less health, but enough stats over here. So this will be about 7.2% of stats, which is not too good. But then again, this inscription, 1% extra damage. Can't skip on that. And I don't have any better ones for infantry that has inscription. So that's why I'm using that one. Oh, this one's crazy too, by the way. But yeah, that's why I'm using this one. 1% damage. Extra damage. And that is better than just me not having any other inscriptions. And the stat-wise, this is probably the most lacking of my whole set in infantry, but still pretty good, usable. If I find a better inscription armaments elsewhere, I might actually transfer that over so that my Lucia can be happy. But this is what I have so far. This one just straight up stats, I think 5.2, so 8.8%, which is not bad at all. I don't think I have anything else. So I used to use this one, I think, for the armaments, the inscription, but your wields deal 2% extra damage to troops with under 20% units remaining. This is not gonna trigger most of the time, so I just figured let's just go with the raw stats. So that's why I'm using this one. Good enough stats, not so bad so far. Now this one right here, Emblem of the North. You can see that this one's also very crazy. 9.5% total stats out of 10.5% maximum. Oh my god, and 3.5% infantry health is amazing. 3.5% is something that you don't really get anywhere. You can't get higher than that in terms of all damage. So no health. So yeah, pretty good. This set right here has 3.5% infantry health, which is crazy. But this one, Guardian, the wielder takes 2% less normal damage of all time, which is not bad. I don't think I have any better ones here. Yeah, I don't really have any better ones. I could potentially reroll this one, but I'm most likely gonna switch this one over to archers. But yeah, pretty good set so far. Maximizing health almost as much as I could, except for this one right here. And then if I get a better one for this one, I think I'll get somewhere close to like 12 to 13% on my infantry health on this one. Overall, pretty good. A lot of potential for improvements, but right now I've been pretty happy with this set. All right, so let's move on to my archer set. And on the right side, you might be able to notice that, hey, like your stats, Musa, on the archer set is actually not too good, but look closely. I have 2.5% archer health here. I have 3.5% archer health here. So from those two alone, I get 6% health, boosted from 7.9% already. And I think this one also gives you normal damage buff, which is not bad. And then this one gives you counterattack damage buff. So those two are not really as useful for archer mains or archer march. But yeah, that 6% health is crazy on archer, especially when archers are just as health deprived as, let's say, infantry. This is pretty good. So overall, let's just go ahead and count this. So that's 15.1. 24.7%, and then 6% health added, so 30.7%, I think, right? Am I doing the math wrong? No, 30.7%, which is good. And with that, there's also 1.3% all damage combined to that. So pretty good. And I think most of the value is coming from this one right here. Although the attack is 1.4%, so 1.5%, which is lacking 2% of attack. Oh my god, this is also almost perfect defense and health roll here. And that's why I inscribe Hunter here, because, hey, in terms of armors, I can't ask for more. And you can see that I can actually still transmute this. So if I get lucky with this one, I might be able to get more than 10% of stats from single armament here, even without using another transmutation stone. I mean this one right here. So transmutation crystal. So pretty good so far. And this was interesting. So this one is actually this one is an epic one, but that 2.5% health is really good. And I was like, hey, like 2.5% attack is max roll on epic one. And then 1.5% is the max roll that you can get for all damage. But I got 1.3%, which is very close to max roll on an epic armament, and then 1.7% defense is the only flaw here. But then again, that 2.5% extra health that you can get from inscription, I thought was really crazy. And then I do have other candidates for this slot, I think. Yeah, I do have other candidates for this slot, but I did the math in my head, and I could be wrong because I did the math in my head, but I thought this one at the end of the day will provide you the most value if I, let's say, converted everything to all damage. So I'm using this one. Pretty good for epic armament, I would say. But yeah, if you actually disagree, just let me know in the down comment below. But let's just move on. Banner of the Pantheon. So this one gives you about 6.2% health, all stats, which is not good at all. But the 1.5% less normal damage taken isn't too bad. Let's see if I have. So I think to be really honest with you, I think I can upgrade potentially. So this one's not too bad, but the stats are basically epic max roll. So I think here's what I think I was doing. I think I was actually waiting for this one to roll and to get one. You can see that I have one left. And I unfortunately couldn't roll that into a good one. I think this one I'm still thinking about rolling so that my archer banner is going to be better than this one. So this one I think I need a little bit of work on, but it's okay. It's okay for use. And I think if I can, actually, let's see if I have a better one that I can use. Let's just go to Yuche because that's the one that I have for. Is there a triple? Oh, this one's not bad too. 3.5% defense with. If I can just roll the barbarian damage out, I think I can potentially transfer that over for archers. Let's see. I don't think I have anything in Delta. But let's see if I have anything that I can use. No knight who sitteth at my table is above any other. I guess this one can be rolled. Yeah, 2% more damage while you're on the map. So if I can actually get this one into rolled for archer attack of any amount, I think I might be able to get it. But the lower rolls are actually pretty bad, so I don't want to. I think that's why I didn't want to kind of roll those ones over. This one's pretty nice actually. 1.8%, 3.3%, 2.9%. But do I want to? Actually, let's do it. Yeah, let's just do it on the video right now. I think this is pretty good. Banner of the Pantheon. I don't know what this one's called. Yeah, one conversion stone. I think this is pretty worth it. 1.8% all damage. And yeah. Look at that. I just made an upgrade in the video. I think I was doing barb on this one. But yeah, so that's basically the third armament that I have. And the fourth one is simple. 3.5% health max. It has double inscription, 2.5% less counterattack, more counterattack damage dealt, and 3.5% extra health. And then health for archers are really powerful, so I'm using that one. I might eventually swap this one out to anything that has a rare armament because of the fact that rare armament for this wedge is pretty good with 4% skill damage buff. But yeah, that's just what I have right now. And let's go ahead and swap this over. A lot cleaner with 3.1% all damage and still has that 6% archer health rocking. So yeah, let's just go ahead and save this one. No. Where is my archer set? Okay. I guess I didn't have archer set saved. But yeah, this is really good. So I did an upgrade a little bit. The conversion stone cost was a little too much, but it is what it is. And the lastly, I still have some work in progress arch set that I was running on. It's actually not too good. It has like all damage and it has one infantry attack, but all damage for I think for Arch is pretty good because it will do a lot more counterattack damage, all damage, and normal damage all combined together will just make you unswarmable. So this one's not too bad, but this one's just pure stats. I don't think I have anything that is better for this one. Yeah, so I could potentially reroll this one into Arch, but at that point I'll probably switch over all the great armaments that I actually have from Delta. So a little less focus on the Arch formation that I have so far. This one gives you 1.9% all damage, which is crazy. But anything else, I don't think it's really worth mentioning. The last one, yeah, it's not too good. This is probably the best one with the all 1% all damage from inscription. But yeah, that's my Arch formation. I think that's all that I have for you today. Let's just go ahead and take a look. Yeah. Oh, I actually did forget one thing. My Guan Yu's wedge formation. This is just pure stats, as you can see already. Except for a couple of them. I think the last one having 4% skill damage dealt inscription is nice. This one has tremors, which will actually give you, whenever you do active skill, you have chance to deal another 100 damage factor skill, which is actually pretty nice. This one's just pure stats. I think, yeah, this is like 7. Hold on, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, 9.6%, which is really good. This one's actually pretty bad. Let's see if I can find the better one for infantry. I don't think I have any wedge infantry saved up. Yeah, that's the best one that we can have. 3.4% health though. That's not bad at all. So, and this one right here, although the stats themselves are almost as good as, let's say, a max rolled epic set, that focus fire of 4% skill damage is nice. So yeah, so that's what I have. I think I took a look at everything. Let's just go ahead and double check that I showed you everything that I have so far. Oh yeah, there's Archer set that I actually had. I'll go ahead and overwrite that later. Oh, V formation. Yes, I forgot about my V formations. Pretty simple. Ballistics, which will give you, while in V formation and range mode, you'll deal 3% more damage. And while not in V formation, you just basically do more counter attack damage. But this is basically 3% more damage for anyone who's using this one. Let's see, ballistics, yeah. And V formation is kind of weird in the sense that, like, if you go to their special inscription format, some of them is actually not too good. Yeah, so this one right here, sharpshooter, is actually really bad. So the wielder's troop gains 5% boost to normal damage, but whenever you actually launch a basic attack, you have 10% chance to spend 50 rage to increase the damage of the attack. So not of skill damage, not of anything. Of that single attack, you're gonna basically get 50% extra damage, which is really bad. So if you wanna get the best inscription for this one, I think like something like Loosed is actually the best. Yeah. V formation, whatever the troop attacks, 10% chance to deal extra damage for 200 damage for that. I think this is probably the best armament for this one, along with, the typical 3.5% health is always nice. But yeah, the V formation armaments are actually pretty weird. Okay, so this one's pretty good, but line shot is also really good. I forgot which one is actually from. Oh yeah, this one right here. So while in V formation, the wielder's troop deals 5% more ranged normal damage. While not in V formation, the wielder's troop deals 1% more normal damage of all types. So this will allow you to actually use your Gonzalez with 5% more damage, which is really nice. So this is my first V formation set. I didn't really pull specifically for V formation as much, but I do have a pretty good armament there. And let's see. I think I have Gaza Mata. This is a second set, so you don't have to worry too much about these one. Yeah, these are pretty garbo. But yeah, that's basically everything that I have in terms of my account for Armaments. I hope you guys actually found this pretty helpful or enjoyable. I do have some gold, like 3.5% max health, 3.5% max defense. Just needs to work around the attack kind of armaments, as well as some of the crazy special inscriptions that I actually have for my account. So I hope you guys actually enjoyed this video. If you did, please go ahead and consider subscribing to the channel for more contents like this in the Rise of Kingdoms. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace!